Welcome back, everyone. This is Dave from the Corn Productions Deep Dive TV podcast. I got my co-host Stacie and some special guests, John Irons from the Quantum Leap podcast and the Captain Game Show. And we have Jared Stern, a comedian who was voted Best Comedian of DC 2 years in a row. Do I have that right, Jared?
I mean, yes, very technically, yes.
All right.
I refuse to live up to those expectations.
Take the
Okay,
win.
we don't expect you to be the best comedian here today.
Okay.
We are here talking about their book, 1700 Esoteric Syllables about Yo Mama. Sounds like a classic right up there with Shakespeare.
Well, I mean, it is poetry. This book at its core is a book of poetry. It just happens to be 100 Yo Mama jokes written as haiku.
Wait. Jared, what was your inspiration for the book?
I can't tell you exactly what my inspiration was. I was just struck by the fact it hit me one day. I realized since haiku start with 5 syllables, and Yo Mama jokes, if you keep the opening insult to 1 syllable, are also 5 syllables to start with. Yo Mama so blank. So I just started playing around with the concept. I put a couple things out there on Instagram, mostly to be ignored. Just put it out in the ether just for the hell of it, and just to have some fun. But I started playing around with it, and I started writing more and more and more of them. And I was like, hey, this could be something. And I should probably bring in somebody who has a deep love of the haiku form, and that is none other than my co-author, John Irons.
That's pretty much how it happened. Correct. Next question. He had mentioned it to me. I want to say even last year. He was like, "Hey, I've got this idea." Hey, I've got this idea. I was like, "Cool, great. That's a great idea." And I, and thought nothing else of it. And like in February, I want to say it was. He was like, "Hey, so I started writing some of these. What do you think of these?" And he had done maybe 10, 12, and he'd kind of send them to me, and I'd be like, "Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's good. Oh, you might want to change this to that. You might want to change this to that." So at that point, I was like, "Okay, cool. This is Jared's baby. I think that's a great idea. I am a consultant."
and the snowball just started rolling downhill and rolling downhill, and I was like, all right, well, my original goal was, all right, let's write 50 of them. Let's write 50 haiku, and it can be 850 esoteric syllables about Yo Mama, which still works out because that title itself is a haiku. And then John was like, you know what, 50's nice. Why don't we do 100?
Well, he said like, oh, he said, well, I want to go. I was like, well, what's your timeline on this? Like, well, I want to kind of keep going. Like, we'll go to the end of the month. We'll write to the end of the month, and we'll see. We'll see how many we get. And so Jared also has a podcast, Between Two Sterns, that he co-hosts with, ironically, coincidentally, hilariously, another Jared Stern who is a comedian, and disregard that. My cat just did a thing. And so I was listening to like one of his episodes. He's like, "Yeah, I'm co-writing this book with John Irons. Yo Mama
At
joke
that point,
haiku."
did you not know that you were a co-writer?
I did not. I was like, "Oh, cool. Okay, well, if I'm in, I'm in." So
I considered you an equal on the project just because I know. So one of the reasons why I've been so into the haiku as a form, to first of all, I love it as a way to kind of, as a format, just because you were talking about Shakespeare earlier. Well, Shakespeare said brevity is the soul of wit, and haiku is about the shortest form poetry that you can have. And if you can fit a good joke into 17 syllables, technically 12 because the joke is coming after the Yo Mama So, then I feel like he got something good there. And John on his podcast, Captain Game Show, he would, as part of it, he does something called intermission improv, where the three guests that he has on, they do all different types of wordplay games, but one of them is called Haiku Kung Fu, in which he gives us a topic and says, okay, write a haiku about this. And then in the intervening time between the intermission improv and the end of the show, we have to have written said haiku and then perform it at the end of the show. And so I've always enjoyed those kind of writing exercises. And now that I kind of had a format in mind and a joke to run with, I wanted to see how far we could take it. And John Irons is a machine, and once you get him going, he has trouble stopping, especially when it comes to writing haiku. So I could not have asked for a better person to have with me on this project.
I was honored to be invited. It was really like he's right. Like I mean, uh, I feel like people just throw around the phrase "on the spectrum," but I'll make it work for me. So, so like once once I kind of get an idea, like you said, it snowballed. I was like, okay, so oh, we could do this, you could do this, we could do this, we could do this, and he's right. Like it's like okay, so we'll get to 50, and we had 50 by the middle of the month. I'm like, well, yeah, 50 at the middle of the month.
50 was easy.
Let's keep going. See what we get.
50 in our sleep.
Yeah.
And so then we just kind of broadened things out because I had things like classified into they're classified into different categories, and they are here in the book, and I have a copy right here.
I should probably hold up the book.
Yeah, 1700 Esoteric Syllables about Yo Mama. Oh, you have a copy right there. Wonderful. So if you turn to the table of contents, you see we have mean, dumb, big, old, broke, like all sorts of adjectives. But we only had like 5 to start with, and then I did 10 each of the 5. That got us to the 50. And so when he was like, "Okay, let's do 100," I was like, "Well, we're gonna have to come up with a bunch more different categories because I had just kind of pigeonholed myself into the first 5 adjectives, and then I had to like go online and like what are some other 1-syllable adjectives I can use?"
So this is probably like the first like thing I did. I was like, I sent him. I was like, we could say this, and we could do this, and I guess we could do that, and we could do that, and there were a few that didn't quite fit, and those are the ones at the end, the last chapter, and another thing.
Yeah, the miscellaneous pile.
Miscellaneous, right?
Are there any jokes that you guys wrote that you did not include in the book? That you just decided to edit it out?
Yeah, there were a couple that didn't make the cut. I couldn't pull them up for you right now. But we had, I think we had about 115.
We did.
That we culled from. Oh, you have one, John? Go ahead.
I actually could literally pull them out. Let me look and see.
Okay.
Well, I was thinking there was one that I was just so enamored with. It was like one of the first batch that I came up with.
I actually have my Google Drive up in front of me. Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, it was like, what was it? It was it was something like, and this syllabically this probably isn't gonna work, but it was something to the effect of your mama's so dumb. She thought a backyard meant she had 3 feet behind her or something like that.
Oh yeah, okay.
Right. And Joe was like, that's confusing. I was like, no, it's genius.
Yeah, I mean,
it's back and it's a yard and the yard is 3 feet. He's like, no, I get it.
It's very interesting because as a stand-up comic, and I've been doing stand-up for long enough that I can't quit. Over 20 years, and I've traveled up and down the East Coast. I've worked with plenty of people that you may have heard of. I just opened for Howie Mandel, so that was really cool.
I did read that in your bio.
What's that?
I read that in your bio when I looked
Oh,
at
you
your
did. Oh, well,
yeah,
yes.
did some
Thank you.
research.
Thank you for doing some research. I have a certain comic sensibility, and so when writing these jokes, I'm trying to make sure that not only they fit the haiku format, but also have a certain punch to them.
Yeah.
And John, coming from outside of that world, but still also a funny guy, it was interesting to kind of like go back and forth and say, well, I think this would work best like this. And he said, and he'd be like, no, well, what if we tried it, tried a couple different variations on that. So it was very interesting collaborating with him on that.
Yeah, it was a good collaboration because I write Captain Game Show, which is a game show. It is trivia, but it's also a comedy show, and I write that by myself. Um, and so it was interesting to have to confer with someone and like agree on the joke because I never have to I never have to do that. And I guess Jared really doesn't either as a stand-up. He just does what he wants to do. Um, but yeah, I think like when the dust settled, um, like you said, we probably had about 115, give or take. And there were very few that we just didn't agree on. Like for the most part, it was like, okay, well, this one's good. Let's kind of punch it up. Okay, that one's solid. That one's solid. That one's solid. Okay, that one maybe get like we kind of fell in the same ranking, like on pretty much all of them. But there were one or two that he was like that we kind of I wouldn't even say fought, but it was like that one of us
Well,
thought was stronger than the other.
I'll
Um,
tell you what kind of got what made it so that some of these haiku didn't make the cut. One of the things I wanted to make sure of for this book was that it was accessible. So I wanted kids to be able to read it. So I didn't want anything to be excessively dirty, and I also didn't want to punch down. So we avoided a lot of some, instead of your mama
but
so
for the record,
fat.
I was on the same page. We were. I wasn't fighting
No,
him on
no,
that.
I'm not saying. Yeah, I'm not saying you were different. You were of a different mind. But
Just put
um,
it on the record.
so we avoided stuff that was, super. Like we didn't want to be mean spirited. So instead of your mama so fat, we went with your mama so big. Instead of your mama so poor, we went with your mama so broke. Just things that just dull the edge just a little bit. Um, but we also wanted to like. So one of the categories is drunk, and we wanted to, and this was something John was saying. We wanted to avoid jokes that made fun of things that could actually happen, or that would actually like make someone feel bad if they read it. Like one of the ones that didn't make it is Yo Mama So Drunk, AA posted her name and picture on the wall. I think that's a hilarious joke because it's Alcoholics Anonymous and they put her name and picture on the wall. That's how drunk she was. But we also
You're
didn't want to make
avoiding spirited.
yeah, exactly. We didn't want to cast aspersions on, AA and getting help for that sort of thing. So that we wanted to go more silly in the tone,
Yeah.
more clever and silly. That's always the way we wanted to kind of bend things tone wise.
Yes. She is not overweight like a human could be overweight. She is cartoonishly,
Cartoonishly large.
galactically overweight.
Yes.
Not even overweight, because that's like a thing. It's just big. It's like she's huge. It's like she's a planet huge. It's not
Yes.
even
In fact,
overweight even makes it
there
too
is a particular
realistic.
haiku that makes fun of that. Yeah, of someone being galactically huge. But this has been such a strange, weird journey because like it was an idea in my head, and I was like, okay, this would be cool if we got to this point. This would be cool if we got to this point. Okay, we got to these points. Now it'd be cool if we did this. Now it'd be cool if it was an actual thing. And now it's an actual thing. It's a physical book. It's so cool. It's got pages and stuff in it. Like it's a physical object, and it's something that just got spat out of both of our heads and just ended up on a page. And it's kind of exactly the way I wanted it to be. And again, he was the perfect partner for this. And I felt like such a jackass because really the only way I know John is through kind of the comedy adjacent world and through his podcast. So it never occurred to me to ask, "Hey, John, what do you do for a living?" And turns out he's a graphic designer, and so he was the guy. He laid out the whole book. He designed the whole book.
He was like, if
And
only I
like,
could find somebody to illustrate this.
yeah,
Do you know
like,
anybody?
duh. Do you know what I do? So that was a fun way to find that out.
And talk to us about these Japanese translations.
Oh, that's all John.
What is that?
So okay, I have to say the printed copies that probably both of you have are not up to spec. They're not as they should be. So if you open to a random page, you'll see the illustration on the left page and the poem on the right. And underneath there's like a little red box and there's like some Japanese characters in there. So there should be a red border around each one of those, but because of a printing mix-up, it just didn't print with the first batch of copies. So
mine have red borders.
You do? Can I see?
Yeah, let's see.
Oh,
move over.
Yes, you have the red border around the characters.
Around the there's a red border around around the Japanese characters, but there's supposed to be a really flourishy red border around the poem itself.
Got you.
Yeah, I should have printed one out so I could hold it up to the camera. It's supposed to look like this.
But it's still, I mean, that doesn't change the quality of the book. That's just a one little extra flourish that didn't happen to be in there, and hopefully it sticks now.
It hurts me more day by day, but I do have like a number, and I think a link that hopefully, like they'll, send the new one now that it should be hopefully fixed. I forgot what the question was. What was the question?
We were just talking about the Japanese.
Right.
So, what are these?
So
what is this? What did they say? Because they aren't literally the whole joke, right?
No. It is the category. So for for all of the big, and I actually have. Let me find the exact translations, because initially, I just went to Google Translate and I was like, what does big mean? What does, or how do you say big? How do you write, broke or whatever? And it gives you a few choices. And I was like, okay, well, that's kind of the most what I mean. So, cut to the final stages of the book. The jokes, we've decided on the jokes, the illustrations are done, the covers on, all of that. And I was like, you know what, let me just run this by some people who actually speak Japanese.
Let's make sure we're not horribly offending anybody.
Yeah. And they were like, no, that's no. And it wasn't that anything was like offensive. It wasn't like, just blatantly wrong, but it was wrong in the sense that like it's just not the word that you would use. Like it'd be like if I called a young woman a little girl. Right? You could see like how the translation, like you see how it would do that, but it's just not correct. It's not the way that you would say it. So I did a few rounds back and forth with my friend, Jen Rubio, who speaks Japanese, and she was like, okay, well, I feel like this is not right, but you should get a native or like a really high level speaker, because there's so much nuance. So I reached out to my friend who actually just moved to Japan, and she's like, hang on, let me send this to my teacher. So it was a whole it took a village. It took a village to translate this haiku. But yeah, so basically they mean whatever the name of the section is or some equivalent. of what the section is, except for the ones at the end, the miscellaneous at the end, and then they're more or less kind of what the punchline word is, or what the punchline concept is. So I'm curious. You have the book. Did you have any favorites? Have you read the book, right?
I didn't
wrote
read all of them. I did read some
a
of
couple
them.
down.
I spent like 20 minutes with it, and I skimmed through, but I haven't read each and every one of them yet.
Okay.
It just came in yesterday. So
did you have any that you liked?
I wasn't prepared to like do
I
that.
wasn't prepared to like any of them. I
right,
don't
so-
even know.
I'm really bad at comebacks. You guys have watched The Simpsons at one point, right?
Sure, of course.
Sure.
Well, there's an episode where Homer Homer would get insulted and he'd be like, something not said, something bad was said, something not good, and he would like not be able to say anything until like the next morning.
Mhm.
That's kind of how I am, except I'm not quite as dumb as Homer. So it's good to have a reference guide for when somebody insults me. I could just come back with, "Yo, mama's so dumb she thought there were 5 other movies before The Sixth Sense."
Yeah.
I appreciated that one.
Good.
There's also, "Your mama is so dumb she thought the Dalai Lama was a stuffed animal." And I'm sorry if that's not the exact wording. I might have just
No,
It's
I think that was
close
it.
enough.
yeah.
I feel like you nailed it.
I tell you, one of the things that's been very rewarding for me so far is so I've a bunch of friends of mine have bought the book and gifted it to a child in their lives.
Oh.
One of my coworkers gave it to her 11-year-old, and he was like, he couldn't believe that his mom gave him this book. Like, he thought he shouldn't be reading it. He thought he was in some kind of trouble, and like he's like, you know what? I'm going to take this book to school. I want all my friends to read this, and that is one of the things that I hope this book becomes. Like, I don't have any real illusions that this is going to become some kind of bestseller or anything like that. But when I was growing up, I loved the book Where the Sidewalk Ends. Right? You guys read that when you're growing up?
Of course, that's classic.
A lot of silly poems. And that's essentially what this book is. It's a bunch of silly poems, but it's a great gateway. It's a great gateway for young minds to learn about haiku in general, poetry and haiku, and also just weird, fun, clever wordplay. Like, when I was a kid, I had, Monty Python, and I grew up listening to Emo Phillips and Stephen Wright, and you kind of get introduced to an off kilter way of thinking, and it helps develop those those brain patterns, gets you to thinking about stuff. And I hope that this book ends up being that for a group of kids. I think that's great.
Yeah, I got a 12-year-old, a daughter, that I think would really love this book, and definitely gonna buy it for her eventually. Maybe for something.
Yeah. I like I mean, I had a blast doing this, like just every kind of stage of it. But I really like that there's different kinds of jokes. Like I don't mean like, these are about being broke and these are about being big. Like, I mean, like, some are like actual, like, kind of classic form your mama jokes. Most of them are, I guess, but some are just puns, and some are self-referential. Some make fun of the fact that they are a haiku. Some make fun of like the fact that they're in a book. Some are just like, your mama's so broke. Would winning the lotto help? No, it would not.
No, it would not.
Just dumb. Just
Yeah.
dumb and hilarious to me.
They run the gamut. Some
They're
of
on
them
the
are
game.
very,
Some of them
very
are really
high-minded.
clever.
Some of them, from clever to just silly and dumb. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got everything you could possibly want if you're into that sort of stuff.
Much like Jared's stand-up and my podcast, from very clever to very dumb, but all funny. Hopefully,
John,
And a
all.
have your
celebration
kids
of
read the book?
What's that?
I said, John, have your kids read the book?
They have. I forced them to read the book.
Did they pre-read and help you screen them, or you just gave it to them after it was
No,
done?
they read it while it was in the process of. So they did not see the final version, but once we kind of settled on what the haiku, like which haiku, which jokes we're going to use, I had my daughter sit down and like read through, like she read like the layout on my screen, like the InDesign pages, but not like the final form. So she laughed, but it was also kind of like a chore because I was kind of I was telling her to do it. But like now that she has seen but she did laugh, she did enjoy it, and same kind of thing. Like my coworker bought the book and like she left it with the kids, and like her son, my coworker Molly, and her son Jacob. She said that like she talked to him and she didn't know which one he was reading, but his comment was, "Ah, dang," which is kind of the best response you can expect from your mama joke. So it's perfect, for a PG
Right.
video.
I bet he's going to use some of them.
I
Sure.
hope so.
Go to school.
What's great is that to a young mind it may seem like it's dirty or outrageous, but it's just kind of rides the
There's
line.
nothing.
Isn't
None of them
actually that
are.
bad.
None of them are sexual. None of them are. There's no your mama so uglies. There's no your mama
Mostly
so.
because that doesn't fit.
Yeah, I can make it work.
There's always volume 2.
Always volumes. But yeah, it's yeah, like I certainly don't want this to be my entire legacy, but I am very happy to have this as part of my legacy.
It's a nice piece of a legacy.
It's a nice piece of legacy.
I dig it. It's I can now consider myself a multi-hyphenate.
So you self-published.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about how that happened, going through that process. Like, I mean, you like officially did it. You've got like ISBN number and everything.
Oh, yeah.
So
Well,
how did that happen?
It came from me consulting every single person I know who may have written a book or knew somebody who wrote a book, because as fun as writing the book was and putting the book together was, trying to get through the world of book publishing, it's impenetrable. It's awful, because if you're trying to publish like a regular author would, you have to actually like get a literary agent, have them buy the book, you have to submit your book. You have to only certain publishing houses have open submissions if you don't have a literary agent. Like I kept looking through all the different steps that you have to go through. I'm like, this book is never coming out. And in my head, I was like, wouldn't this be great if it was available for before Mother's Day? Like that was what I was shooting for. I wanted us to be able to announce it on April 17th, which was National Haiku Day, and I wanted it to be available by or before Mother's Day. That's what I wanted. And so in order to do that, I found out the easiest way to do it would be just to bite the bullet and go through Amazon. But what I made sure to do was, and one of the pieces of advice that I got was to buy your own ISBN number and barcode and whatnot. So because if you use the one that Amazon gives you for free, you are beholden to Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
You can only sell on Amazon. But if you have your own ISBN number, if you bought it, then you can sell it anywhere. So that's what I did, and so now we can. Now, don't get me wrong. Trying to push this to local bookstores has been a bit of a challenge, because when you say that you've published a book on Amazon, they're like, go away. Amazon is the bane of our existence. Good luck with your book, but it ain't with us. So, I printed out a bunch of physical copies to sell after comedy shows, and to friends and relatives, and hopefully their friends and relatives. And we'll see where it goes. My hope of hope, my dream of dreams is maybe, a literary agent sees now that the book is a completed thing, they see it and like, hey, you know what? That'd be a cool thing to distribute worldwide. But also, I think it would be great for John and I to take it to like cons, be it literary or otherwise, and set up a booth, and we'd sell the books, and we could make prints of all the haikus, and we could sell haikuzis, and like seriously, magnets, merchandising.
So all of that stuff that Jared said is like the stuff that I hate. Like I love the creative part, like, and it's still like so it was a natural division of labor where like after we kind of equally contributed to the jokes, and then I went the design route and he went the admin route.
Yeah.
So like all of that crap, like I don't like, that's I do not have a knack for that. I've never
neither do I, buddy. But you know what? I don't have a knack for design either. So
yeah,
you got that lot.
Yeah. I've signed now. I've officially signed, like, autographed 2 books, which was cool.
Nice.
Yeah. Original haiku in each one.
Oh, do you sign with a haiku?
I do. I'm not saying like I will always will.
I've just been saying thanks for buying the book. I haven't gone full haiku yet on a signature.
Well, like I've only done 2.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like if they occur to me, if there's like a line of people, which that would be great. But like
that would be fantastic. Let's work on getting a line of people.
Yeah.
Do you have an example in mind of how you did that? You like remember what you signed exactly?
I signed one for my friend Bob, and it was something like, I'd hoped to get a palindrome in this book, and now I have. Thanks, Bob, in quotes. Bob is a palindrome. That reads the same point backwards. But that's not like super on the fly. It takes me a minute to come up with it. So
yeah, well, and also you have
to
come up with one.
It really does depend on how many syllables the person's name you're signing it for.
Oh, yeah, true. Like I don't. Their name doesn't always go in the haiku.
Well, if you're going to be at a signing booth, you just have to come up with 1 or 2 standard that you can use over and over.
Fill in the blank, and then have the leftover syllables already set.
You know what? Back in the early days of Captain Game Show, and we're been hovering at episode 199 for about 2 months now, but way back like when it first started, anytime anyone shared the episode, like when a new episode came out, anytime anyone shared it, I would write them a haiku and I would post it. Like if they shared it on Twitter, what was then known as Twitter, I would write them a haiku, an original haiku on Twitter. Same on Facebook, or so this is kind of getting back to that, like, because I really, Jared talked about his love of children's poetry was born at an early age. My love of haiku was like it was like it was like busy work in grade school. I guess it wasn't busy work, but it felt like busy work. But I never got over it. It is a fun. It's because it's poetry and it's a word game and it's a puzzle all in one.
It's like mental origami.
It is.
It's like folding a paper crane. You have to make sure everything is exact. You have to make sure you have the 575 symmetry, and then you also need to make sure you're getting across whatever message you're trying to get across poetically.
Word.
Jared, how many times have you played on Captain Game Show? You
Great
mentioned earlier
question.
that you had.
I am a pretty frequent guest. I mean, I've kind of fallen off recently, but over the course over the 199 episodes, I think I've been on there at least 10 times, maybe more.
At least 10. Yeah, you've been on at least 10 times. You've been
Yeah,
out of the
at least.
200 episodes, you've been on. Yeah, it's been yeah.
Okay.
You're probably top 5 most frequent guest, I would say. I'm guessing. But if you go to captaingameshow.com, a website, the website, you can actually you don't see it like in number form, you don't see like their stats, but you can search by player, and you can search by game.
All we need now is the leaderboard. That's all we need.
Never gonna happen. I will never do a leaderboard.
Oh man.
So
Sorry.
what would you say your win percentage is out of those plays?
I think it's pretty good. I mean, I don't like to brag, but I think I might be the winningest guest. I can't say for sure, but I've won more than I've lost on that show. If I'm on there as much as John says that I am, then
he does very well. He does very well.
But the show is just so much fun. It's such a great way just to just kind of flex your brain meat and have a good time, because everyone that he has on are fun people in their own right. And, not everyone's a stand-up comic, but I'm also not a Star Trek expert or anything like that. And there are all kinds of, every single walk of nerd life intersects on Captain Game Show, and so it's always nice to play with those people.
Yeah, I still owe a show to Stacie and Albie from Quantum Leap and Brian.
It's only been like 18 months since you said that.
Look, don't count. I just told you I haven't put a new episode out in like 2 months. It's been a minute. Like, and it used to be a weekly show, but life is life.
Yeah, life is life. Yeah, listen, our Between Two Sterns used to be weekly as well, and we're not nearly on that pace anymore.
Yeah,
we do like 3 a week, so
don't give up hope. It's gonna happen.
I've watched a little bit of your show, John, and you also appeared on our trivia show, and that did not go well for you. But if I were to appear on your show, I would get exactly 0 questions right. I
don't know if that's true.
Literally everybody says that, because I'll invite someone on who's never been on before, and they're like, you know what, John, I listened to a couple of episodes, and I'm like, there was no way I wasn't getting any of them. I was like, but okay, first of all, it is kind of trivia, but it's not always. It could be anything. It could be trivia. It could be stupid puns. It could be, how well do you? It could be. It's almost always some kind of pop culture or something. But there is a wide variety of the types of games, and and honestly, some of them are just, you have a 50-50 shot. Just guess right. You never know. You never know. So, and intermission improv counts for a lot. I also how I score the game is also top secret. So, but
some might say arbitrary.
Some might, but they would be wrong. So when the day, if I ever announce like the retirement of the show, I will say, so for all of you who are wondering, this is how the scoring works. Everyone would be like, oh, okay, fine. It is inscrutable until and then once you know, it makes perfect sense, and you can't even be mad at it. Jared might be mad at it, but
What? Oh, come on now.
I'm kidding.
Listen.
No. It was because it's so perfect, and it's how the world should run, that it doesn't even occur to you that that's how it's being scored. I mean, of course, if you get it right, you get a point. Like it's not like random. It's not completely arbitrary, but there is there's little. It's like a video game, right? It's like a video game. So yeah, you go through and you get all you complete the quest and you grab the ring or whatever and you complete the level. But also maybe there's bonus points here and there, like if you hit the right thing, if you go through the right pipe, or you grab this thing, you walk this direction. You get style points if you do the 360 in the air. It's just a little something something. And I am often transparent about when more points come in, but not always.
Mostly translucent.
I'm transfixing.
Dare I say opaque?
Sure.
You're like transitions lenses, John.
Yeah. You get me on the sun. Never mind.
All right, so our listeners know John. You've been around, but Jared, this is your first time with us. So you mentioned a little bit about what you do, but tell us some more about you and your career and where people can find you and all of that stuff.
Well, first and foremost, you can find all of my exploits at jaredstern.com. That's Jared is in the gallery of jewelry, Stern like Howard. Like John said, I have my own podcast, Between Two Sterns, with me and my good friend Jared Stern. It's a podcast that is born out of self-importance, but it's been a very strange way to find out I'm not special, because not only do I get to talk to somebody with my exact name, and we talk about we've gone from strangers to co-hosts to friends, and now I consider him a brother. We've also spoken to about 12 other guys named Jared Stern. That's not how the show was. That's not what the show was meant for, but it's kind of what it's evolved into. We have our own little bespoke multiverse that we've cultivated over the course of the show.
Jared Sterns, not all U.S. based.
Well, yes, some of our guests are not named Jared Stern, but a lot of them have been. And what we've discovered is that my co-host and I are the worst of us. There are so many other more interesting Jared Sterns out there. We've spoken to a private investigator, Jared Stern, a professional dancer, Jared Stern, the writer of Lego Batman and the director of DC Super Pets is named Jared Stern. So many. And seriously, you guys, of all the Jared Sterns you could be talking to right now, the fact that you're only talking to me, I'm just saying your podcast can do better. But yeah, so it's been a very long, strange trip. We're coming up on episode 150 on that show, and you can find all of our episodes at jaredstern.com. We're also on Spotify and all those other places where you stream podcasts. I've been doing stand-up for a long time, and I'm basically just going to go until someone tells me no. And you can find all of my upcoming dates on there as well. I have an album that came out about a year or so ago. I pressed a vinyl record for it because I found out that people don't buy CDs anymore. Yeah, I mean I'm just basically up in front of a microphone saying goofy shit all the time, and that's trying to bring a little bit of joy into everyone's life, trying to distract people from the creeping dreck that seems to be consuming all of us. But yeah, jaredstern.com if you want to find out more.
Awesome.
Before we go, is there any other projects that you guys want to plug? Anything else that is going on in your guys' lives besides the book? And
I mean, for me right now, the biggest thing is 1700 Esoteric Syllables about Yo Mama, available now on Amazon. Well, mostly just on Amazon. That's where it's available. Or if you want to drive by my house, I have a box of them. It's available. They're available at my house.
You know what? I got something for you.
Okay, please.
Yes. Also, the book. Obviously, want to plug the book. Both Jared's podcast and my podcast are on the Infinite Potato Alliance podcast network. So go to infinite-potato.com and you can find both of our shows and the other shows on the network. So I'm gonna give you a little exclusive. As I said, there's I think of Captain Game Show like it's part trivia show, it's part comedy show, it's part video game. So there's like little Easter eggs and bonuses. I have hidden a few Easter eggs in the book as well. So I will.
Ooh.
I'm gonna give you one. I haven't even told Jared this.
I can't wait because I don't know about this.
Yeah, no, you don't know about any of these. There were a few where like I've kind of hidden stuff in the illustration, but the one that I expect probably will be no one will necessarily notice. On the cover itself, the little branch, the flowers on the branch are 7 leaves with 5 petals each.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That's
I never would have picked up on that. I
know.
Okay, I'm learning something about my own goddamn book.
That's what
I
learn things on book.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And now I'm gonna have to hunt.
Attention to detail.
Read closer.
There's maybe 4 or 5 more just kind of scattered in various things throughout the book. But yeah, that is the one that I expect the fewest people to have noticed.
So now you've told them.
Now I told them. You were to like, hey, do you want to be on? So like this is something exclusive for your fans. So now they all have to buy the book and find the other
buy the book, see it for yourself, hunt for the other Easter eggs.
Yeah.
If you do buy it on Amazon, please leave us a 5-star review.
Yes,
and then
please.
a 7-star review, and then another 5-star review. That would be fantastic. But yeah, we're just trying to get the word out to as many people as possible, so we can actually use this as a vehicle toward fame and fortune. I know I've been waiting on overnight success for about 23 years. So hopefully maybe this will be the thing.
Well, there we go.
It is available on Kindle if you already have like a subscription or whatever. I think it's actually free. But if you want
mine actually.
If you purchase the book, it is $5.75 on Kindle. If you buy the paperback, it is $17.
Only 17 cents a haiku.
17.
1 penny a syllable.
Yes. Again,
it's like the Columbia Record Club. For just 1 cent a syllable.
No. Now you're making us sound so old. I don't know what
but we are.
Is.
But we are.
We're trying to here.
Out to the youth. Jim, alphas don't know what the Columbia Record Club now.
Okay, fine. Hey, tapes are making a comeback eventually.
I feel like I still owe them money, actually, because
everybody does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably why they went out of business. Like, no, they just gave away all their shit and nobody ever paid them. I'm sorry. Can I pass on this?
Yeah.
Great.
No problem. All right. So you heard them. Amazon.com. We're going to put the link down in the description of the video. Buy the book. It's kid friendly. Give it for gifts. Give it for, Mother's Day's passed. We got Father's Day coming up. It'll work for that too.
It does work for Father's Day. Give
it for, I don't know. What else happens this summer? 4th of July. Buy some 4th of July jokes. There you go. And check out.
Take it to the beach for your Memorial Day visit.
It's just a nice, easy, fun read. It's a great coffee table book. It's a great conversation piece. It's a great gift for your kids. It's a great gift for your mama, and it's it's fun. It's fun for everybody.
Agreed.
All right. So buy the book.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, it was a pleasure having you guys on. John, always great to see you. Jared, great to meet you. If you guys have anything else you ever want to come on and talk about, feel free. We're always here. So just reach out to Stacie because she's the one that's reachable right now. And yeah, we'll have you guys back if you want.
Sounds great.
So, yeah, I think that's good.
Fantastic.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And that was our conversation with John Irons and Jared Stern. I thought that conversation was pretty fascinating. What did you think, Stacie?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. We've known John for a long time. This is our first time talking with Jared. Great people. We've got a great book. Like I had said, I haven't read it all yet, but I definitely intend to dig into it. And I know your daughter's gonna love it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I definitely think that I should definitely buy this for my daughter. I think she would definitely appreciate this type of book. She's at the right age that Jared was talking about. She's 12 years old right now. So she's definitely right at that place where she would definitely enjoy this book, I think.
Yeah. And you know what's something cool I noticed is these books were printed in North Haven, Connecticut. At least mine was.
Right here in Connecticut.
So that's right down the that's not going to come in. That's right down the street from us. So that's pretty cool. It didn't have far to travel, my copy. Maybe, I don't know how Amazon does it, if they print in different places or not.
You want to go visit?
Go visit North Haven?
I mean, the publishing place where it was published.
Not particularly. Unless you're going to catch a train, I see no reason to go to North Haven.
All right. Stacie, you have anything else to say before we conclude?
Just buy the book. Buy the book. All the links are down below for the book. For John's podcast, for Jared's podcast, and all of their things. So check them out and support them.
All of those links will be in the description. Stacie's going to have to remind me to do that.
I'll do it. You upload it and I'll add the words. All
right. That's all right. If you like this video and want to support the channel, the number of ways to do so, you can follow me on Twitter at Core Productions. Oh, actually, I forgot the part where I asked how to reach Stacie. Stacie can be reached at.
Reached on Twitter, X, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, at TV and Coupon Talk.
And yeah, you can join the Corn Productions Facebook page. You can buy something from the Corn Productions store on Zazzle, which I think these two might want to consider doing themselves. I'm not buying our products, but putting products on themselves.
Yeah, they were talking about making stuff. Yeah. You can make all the stuff right there on Zazzle, and you don't have to print it yourself.
Yep. You can join the Corn Productions membership for 99 cents a month, starting at. And of course, you can like, share, and comment on this video as well as subscribing to the channel. This is Dave and Stacie from Corn Productions signing off.